Hi, I'm Cassandra Clare. I'm the author of about 25 books, most of which have been written in the young adult category. So I'm probably best well known for writing the Shadowhunter series, which begins with Mortal Instruments. And I've been doing that for many years and living in that world. I've really enjoyed it. And so it's been really interesting for me to write Swordcatcher, which is my first adult book and also my first high fantasy. So I didn't make a super conscious choice to switch from young adult to writing adult. I had the idea for Swordcatcher, and the idea grew in my head and became this very layered story that I was really excited about telling. The characters were very alive in my mind. I knew that they were older. And that sort of came with the development of the world that they lived in and who they were. And as I realized that they were older, that they were in their 20s or their later 20s, some in their 30s, I realized that this isn't a YA book. And to me, that has not much to do with like the complexity of the narrative. YA readers are very able to, read and respond to complex narrative. It's more about where the characters are in their lives. These are characters who are dealing with issues that adults deal with. They're dealing with family, marriage, jobs. They're not in that place that teenagers are in where they are trying to figure out what kind of person they want to be. They're in that stage where they know the person that they are, and they are dealing with outside forces and also making the decisions about the kind of person that they want to be going forward, but they already know themselves. And in many cases, YA is a story of firsts. First love, first job, first real grief, first real loss. In this case, these are people who have loved and have lost and have experienced before. And so that is a very different kind of texture to that kind of story. And I think that those are the things that make something adult. I think for me, one of the main differences that I encountered in writing adult is that I was able to write about characters who are at a different emotional space. One of the fun things about writing teenagers is that they're very reactive. Everything is very big. Every disappointment is the biggest disappointment. Every love is the biggest love. And here we have people who have been wounded, been battered by experience, have pasts. And so it was really interesting to be able to have characters who could sort of reflect on experiences that they had had in their past and look at the situation they're in now and say, this is why this is different. These are people with a deeper understanding of themselves and also a deeper understanding of the world around them and something of a deeper understanding of people and the way they are. They're a little bit more cynical. They're a little bit more expectant of people's flaws and failings. And that, I think, is something that seemed really different to me when I was creating these characters. I had to really look at their pasts, not just their childhoods, but their young adulthoods, and say, what happened to them to make them the people that they are today? So I'm at the point now where I'm really thinking about the release of the book and who is going to be reading it and how they're going to respond to it. I'm very excited for a lot of the people who have grown up with the Shadowhunter books and are now adults themselves, but were kids, when they first started reading my books, to have this book of mine that's going to be much more about the life stage that they're in now, and the kind of people that they are now to read. I think that there are definitely still some things that are in Swordcatcher that will appeal to my existing readers. I hope they will love the characters who are, fun and layered and interesting. And there's humor and there's adventure and there's romance and all of that stuff is still in there, but I believe with a slightly different slant. So I'm excited both for new people who haven't encountered my work before, maybe because they don't read YA, to read it and to respond as fantasy fans. And I'm also very interested to see how my existing and past fans will respond to it. So in sum, I'm very excited for everyone to get a chance to read Swordcatcher, both existing fans of mine and people who are brand new to my work, and I hope that you will have as much fun reading it as I have writing it.